Kingsley is a multifaceted singer-songwriter and music industry professional who's carved her path from the vibrant rhythms of Chicago's house music scene to the forefront of Portland's underground music scene. And Kingsley is with us here. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. That was a great intro.
Oh, thank you. Now, I want to go right back to the start to begin with. What was your kind of journey like growing up in Chicago, and how do you think it's influenced your love for music?
Yeah, my parents are very, very musical. I grew up in the church singing, like most people who get their start in music.
Yeah.
My older sister has perfect pitch, even though she does not care about music. She can
Mm,
play any instrument, so she kind of taught me how to play guitar, how to play piano, and yeah, I'm very, very thankful for just
yeah.
my family loving music.
That's a weird one, kind of not caring about music but being great at it, because, maybe this is just me talking as someone who, isn't particularly musical. It seems like something that you need to put a lot of effort in and practice to be good at.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like warming your voice up every day, even though you don't want to, even though you don't have a show or you're not really practicing, but you
Yeah,
should warm your voice up every single day. And that was a discipline that took me a long time to do. We are creatures of
absolutely.
habit. So if I'm not playing a show, I'm like, okay, girl, come on now, get in the shower and warm your voice up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned your sister, but you're actually one of 8 siblings.
Yes.
So, do you think that's influenced your music in any way? Maybe you have to do something to get attention.
Yeah, I literally picked the arts and the stage and the microphone so someone would listen to me.
Yeah,
Someone would hear me. I think it was really great. It taught me a lot about collaboration and just doing things with your siblings and fighting about music and band practice, and which is all real world experiences. Like I can lead a
yeah.
band so much better because I practice with my sibling. Yeah, I know what not to do when I work with them.
Yes, absolutely. And you formed a family band at 10 years old, so it's quite clear that obviously music is a big part of your family and your life. So, what do you think it was that kind of drove your passion in performing and songwriting at such a young age?
Yeah, it's so cliche to say this, but I did in third grade I sang I Keep on Falling by Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
And when I closed my eyes right before I started singing, everything just felt so peaceful and surreal. It's kind of like
Mm.
surfers who talk about the inside of a wave. It's that moment that solidified for me to keep chasing that feeling. And I every day I want that kind of a feeling.
Yeah. And you pursued college education in music. So what was it that motivated you to take that leap into, more formal music education?
There was no more. My parents, yeah, I told them I was going to
Yeah.
go to LA at 18, and they were like, "No, you're going to college."
Oh,
So
wow.
that was the end of the discussion. It really was. So I went to college, and I got 2 degrees. I got a vocal performance and business administration, and started an a cappella group there. Kind of created my own, type of like picking different classes that would help me in the future, because it's more than just singing. There's so much business behind it,
Yeah.
and I'm very, very lucky to have a business degree that kind of keeps everything in order.
Absolutely. And was kind of doing music at college sort of a compromise? You've got to go to college, so you might as well do something that you enjoy and maybe doesn't feel like hard work.
Yeah, I was actually a music ed major my freshman year, and it was horrible. And I
Yeah.
did it because my mom is a teacher, and at the time, I think my parents wanted to make sure I had stability, and they didn't
Mm.
understand music can be stability. So everyone does education, right? Because if you don't make it, then at least you can teach. You'll have a degree.
Yes.
And after my freshman year, I was like, no, I don't want to be in a classroom, and I don't want that to be a plan B. I am going to do everything in my power to make sure my plan A is my plan B. There is no
Oh,
other
wow.
option. And so I ended up transferring schools because the school that I went to had a better business program, and yeah, became a double major. And a lot of my mentors in college were kind of like, "This is pretty hard. It's going to take you 7 years to do this," and I'm like, "I'm going to do it in 5."
Yeah.
I did, and it was a lot. And I would never recommend pushing your limits like that. Like take your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did it. I did it in 5 with 2 degrees, which was awesome.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. And
Yeah.
did you ever feel, there was a risk in, having your plan A just be your plan B, or did you kind of always believe that it would work out?
It goes in waves. I think in 2020, when the world stopped and we all got to, sit still, and that was where I really looked around at myself and was like, you kind of believe in yourself, but you don't really believe in yourself. I was working for a venue at the time and doing music on the side. And when COVID stopped and the venue shut down, I was like, when we get out of this, whenever we get out of this, I'm going to do music 100% of the time. So I need to mentally be prepared, money wise be prepared. I need to spiritually be prepared. And so I use my time in COVID to kind of shift over to like fully believing in myself, because I believe in music, but like really trusting in this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had a marketing position, but you left that to pursue music full time. So what was it that made you want to take that leap of faith?
I did a tour. I did a tour with a really big name artist. The venue that I worked for, they owned a bunch of venues, so I would manage like their 3 cities on the West Coast. And I did this tour with a really major artist and his tour manager. We were just sitting on the bus, kind of waiting for the show to start. And he just said to me, "I hope I don't see you next year at this tour."
Ooh.
And I kind of stepped back and I was like, wow. He's like, "You are really good at your job. They will never let you go." And that was my heart to heart. That was crazy. That happened. And then I went to Vegas for a project with Sony. Didn't do as well as I should have. Flew back home. And then COVID, like a week later, we were inside the house. And it was kind of like this big reckoning.
Yeah.
And it was the swift kick in the butt that I needed to really believe in myself, because I'm great at marketing, and I love marketing. I love working with artists. But that was supposed to be a tool to help me with myself, not the job. It was supposed to be a part of the journey.
Yeah. And does your experience in marketing and the fact that you're quite good at it help you in music, because you can promote yourself easier?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, just my brand alone is just from working with major labels on, with their artists and seeing what it takes to do branding. And just, it's more than just music if you want to be in the industry. So there's kind of like, there's the performance, there's music business, and then there's the industry. And those are 3 different levels. And kind of deciding where you want to be and putting your network around that will really help you. There's nothing wrong with people that just want to do music as a hobby. There's nothing wrong with people who want to aspire for Grammys. But there are different levels. There are different tiers in life. And getting to work for a venue that worked with indie artists to major labels really opened my eyes to see what the shift would be. And of course, I have this inquisitive mind from college. I'm always like, well, if it's that way, why can't I do it another way, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do this in 7 years. I can do this in 5. And so I'm very thankful for all of the education and just my ability to like keep pushing boundaries, because there really are no rules. You can do whatever you want in the industry.
Oh, yes. And you moved to Portland as a marketing professional. So how does Portland compare to where you grew up in Chicago, like in terms of the music industry?
Yeah, so I didn't get an opportunity of the music industry in Chicago because I was a kid, and then I went to college, and I moved right after college. But I have gotten to come back and play, and I would say Portland is such a great place to go and incubate. It is such a forgiving space. It's such a small market where if you're really good and you're dedicated, you can move through the system very quickly and get on stages that you might not have the opportunity to get to so quickly in Chicago. It's just such a small place. And just experimentation. They love local experimentation. And so getting to find your sound in Portland was so beautiful for me. I mean, I looked through my old Instagram of seeing when I was on stage with a guitar. I don't even play with a guitar. I play with my backing tracks for my band. But getting to explore that type of sound for myself. So I put out 2 acoustic records, right? Which isn't necessarily me now, but getting to try these things, it's such a great place to go to if you're getting started.
Yeah. And how did you go about finding your sound in Portland? Did that come naturally to you?
Yeah, I think each record you get better and better with what you want to do. I think you'll get more money to get to work with other, producers that you want to work with. And even just like learning more about like mixing is a whole nother ball game. And so my first record, we ended up taking one of the songs and putting it on my second record and remixing it and remastering it because I know so much more.
Yeah.
And just getting to see yourself grow each project you put out. I tell people that are like, I don't want to put this out because it's not perfect. Oh my gosh, put it out so that the next one can be closer to perfect, and the next one can be closer to perfect. Just start playing with things, and until you hear it a year later, you won't know what to change.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Because you and do you often kind of look back on stuff from like a year ago and think, oh, maybe I could have done that better, or I guess it's completely natural that you would. So if you do you kind of like to think, well, that's in the past, and just sort of look at what you're doing in the future and the present?
I think I look at it with gratitude eyes. This morning, actually, I listened to my song Human, which is on my acoustic album. And the lyric line that I giggled at, it says, 25 isn't easy as they say, and I'm 30 now. So I kind of
Yeah.
chuckled at that I was like, man, when I was writing this, I had no idea that 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 were going to be tough too. But
Yeah.
when I was writing it, it was with so much gust. I think I look at it with gratitude that I have the ability to speak my truth in the moment, and always come back and listen. Like, wow, girl, you really knew how to say what you had to say.
Yeah. Now, you've been recognised as a prominent figure in Portland's underground music scene. So, how does that feel?
Amazing. I'm actually going to Portland. I moved. I'm back in Chicago. I'm a digital nomad, so I was in New York for a week. I'm going to be in
Oh.
New York for a couple more months, and then back overseas in London. But I'm going back to Portland actually February 22nd weekend. I have a little tour run, and I
Mm.
just posted on my story. I was like, should I put a show together? And it was so
Yeah.
many people commenting and tagging and being like, win, win, win. And it just warms my heart because I moved there in 2016, right after college, with literally no one except for my ex. It was just me and him. And so to cultivate such a loyal community, when you
Yeah.
really, I mean, my first Christmas there, I was alone because I broke up with my ex and I didn't have money to go home. And I'm just crying on my bedroom floor, like, what is my purpose in life? And to get to come back to a place that feels so loving and so warm, to just me getting to do art is such a phenomenal feeling that I don't take for granted.
Absolutely. Now, your album, Crying on Holiday, is set to be released soon. So, what can we expect from this new project?
Sorry, I think that's old.
Oh,
Crying
is
on
it?
Holidays out. Crying on Holidays out. I bet you I know exactly which page on my website you're reading that has
Oh,
something.
yes.
It came out last year. So what's out right now is actually a new single. It came out on January 12th. It's called My Love, and it's the first song on my 8-track record. And this new project is so different from Crying on Holidays. Crying on Holidays,
Mm.
the title alone lets you know what you're getting into. It's a breakup record. It was my first heartbreak ever,
Oh,
and so
wow.
the album is supposed to be is meant to be listened to in order. It's very much a start to finish project, and this new record is called Come and Find Me, and the title is just exactly that. Like, I've worked so hard to get through this breakup, to love myself more, to learn about life deeply, to explore sexuality, to explore liberation, and just come and find me. Meet me on the level that I'm at. I no longer attune to any frequency that's lower than me.
Sounds exciting.
It
Yeah.
is.
And after this project, is there anything else that you're working on that's coming up?
Yeah, tons of stuff. We're working on remixes, some EDM remixes. I have a
Ooh.
whole merch line that's on my website that has like sweaters and tote bags and t-shirts and all of that fun stuff. Just like more stuff that you can do outside of music with me. I have a recipe book that
Ooh.
each song on my album is paired with my favorite cocktail. Yeah, just way more ways to connect with me than just listening to my music.
Sounds exciting. Well, in the meantime, where are we able to find all the music that you've came out with so far?
Yeah, if you want to go to my website, that'll lead you wherever you need to go to on whichever platform you choose to stream, which is imkingsley.com.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for joining us today. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you. This was awesome. I appreciate your questions.